Hey guys, and welcome back to Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. It's time to kick the game off properly now, and we're moving on to the first amazing level with Kraven the Hunter.
I remember this asshole. He showed up like a bunch of times in the 90s cartoon.
No.
Oh man. He had the dumbest voice.
What, just like stereotypical Russian kind of guy?
Yeah.
What do you know? I swing around long enough.
Oh, I love Neil Patrick Harris as Amazing Spidey. I didn't get a chance to mention this last time, but he was the voice of Spider-Man in that short-lived MTV series, just called Spider-Man, the new animated series. It was okay. The reason I always tuned into it was for the intro, which I found to be very hype.
I think I know what intro you're talking about, but I haven't seen it in such a long time that I'm afraid to try and describe it in case I'm describing the wrong show. It looked like it had some pretty smooth animation, though.
Hello, Jim Cummings. How are you?
Yes. You always sound so disappointed when you have to point out like an obvious bit of voice acting.
Well, I mean, he's fucking everywhere, so it's really easy to tell when it's him now.
Oh, just for funsies, I want someone to take all of Kraven's dialogue in this game and replace it with like Winnie the Pooh quotes. Oh, what a great view!
Kraven, you could have just counted that as a win and said you'd already hunted the Spider-Man. It was your victory. You could have just done that.
That's just pussing out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, why did you have to hunt him, trap him, and then bring him somewhere so that you could hunt him and trap him again?
'Cause Kraven's fucking nuts. Are you surprised?
He is a hunter. He loves the thrill of the hunt, challenging his opponent.
He's in Kraven the Pragmatic.
That doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen in a jungle.
How long was I out? How did you transport me here? I'm only just now thinking of these questions.
The magic of the tablet. Let's go with that.
Sure, why not?
It enhances his totally not magic in the first place powers.
Yeah, he's just a typical guy. I think maybe he has a little bit of extra strength, but I honestly can't remember if he has any straight-up superpowers. I think in Spider-Man Unlimited, he may have been, like, a furry, but then everyone else in Spider-Man Unlimited was a furry, so...
Well, that's not exactly true.
Feel free to chime in if you know of any, like, other Kraven kind of incarnations, because the 90s one is mostly where I draw most of my inspiration or knowledge from, and Ultimate Kraven. But he was just kind of like a washed-up actor, if I'm recalling correctly, or at least he was, after he fucked up trying to take out Spider-Man, but I digress. This is the Web of Destiny. As we go through levels, there will be different, like, optional challenges for us to pull off. The more we do, the more we can, unlock or purchase, and the more each Spider-Man can grow and become a better hero.
The first thing I thought of when I saw this was the leveling system in Tales of Xillia.
Ah.
Because it really does kind of look like it.
I don't know why, but it sort of reminds me of Final Fantasy X's Sphere Grid. Not exactly, because obviously you've got a very strict progression through that. But the fact that it's kind of, you've got a bunch of kind of circles in bigger circles, and you can kind of travel around them after completing things. It works.
You're just describing a similar layout now. We're kind of splitting hairs here. So, Lewis, how did you feel like playing as Amazing Spider-Man? How would you rank him in terms of the Spider-Men in this game? Because, well, I'll let you actually answer, but first I will describe his playstyle. He is basically vanilla mode, except for the fact that all his attacks seem to utilize webs in some way. Like, he will bring up dirt from the ground and encase it in webs and create flails and such. It's actually a pretty interesting take on, the 616 type of Spider-Man, and there we go. Just keep swinging around and boom, you complete a challenge.
Amazing Spider-Man. He's fun to play. He just he does the things you expect Spider-Man to do, and is not very remarkable, but you enjoy playing as him because he's what you bought the game for.
If you've ever played another 3D Spider-Man, you'll probably be at home with Amazing.
Yeah, I think the Amazing Spider-Man has a good balance of, just progressing through the level, swinging around, and, actually fighting, as opposed to 2099, which I thought involved a little too much fighting.
Yeah, a little bit too much. I should mention mention that Lewis and I, out of all the people in this commentary, are the ones who have played the game. Eldragon, as we mentioned last time, can't cop stealth, so he hasn't played it. Richie, surprisingly, for an action game lover, has not played it. So thankfully, this is going to be a bit more balanced than in the Banjo com, where it's just one person who knows what they're talking about, and the other two don't. No, we've got a pure balance here.
Well, if you enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Man movie tie-in game, this will probably be a little bit better for you, because I think that the design on the whole is a lot more focused, whereas the Amazing Spider-Man game, which I once tried and didn't quite finish Let's Playing, is it tries to have both the open world style and this, and neither of them is especially well done.
I really don't want to go into it because I haven't seen them, but I wasn't really a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man films and just did not play the games. Maybe I should sit down and watch the films, but I've kind of got Let's Plays to make, to be honest.
Listen, I can't have fun. I have work to play. I just...
Well, the thing with the Amazing Spider-Man films is that there was potential there, because, I mean, Andrew Garfield is actually an amazing Spider-Man. Maybe not necessarily as good as Peter Parker, but, like, as Spider-Man, he's amazing. It's just that the rest of the film kind of is a bit eh-y. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is easily worse than the first one, and that's just because it suffered exactly from the same thing that Spider-Man 3 suffered from, shoving far too many villains in there and not really fleshing anything out.
This is what I hear about, like, the Amazing Spider-Man films. We'll get off this tangent, don't worry. Like, Tobey Maguire, really good Peter Parker. Or at least, you know, the good balances out the bad. But the Spider-Man, not enough quipping. But with Andrew Garfield, you know, Peter Parker, kind of douchey, maybe? That might be overselling it. Spider-Man, he's quipping, he's bopping all over the place, giving it this. So maybe for... What's the guy who's playing him in, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Tom Holland? Give me a second. I think it's Tom Holland, but that might be completely wrong.
That sounds about right, and I have to say, he looks the part. He looks like Peter Parker, so I'm actually interested to see what's going to happen with, like, the balance of, all these older superheroes, and then a younger Spider-Man fighting alongside them.
Okay, it does seem to be Tom Holland.
Good stuff. Look out for him in Marvel's Captain America Civil War, coming soon.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, because Civil War was kind of, what's a nice word for a mess?
Garbage.
That's a good one, yeah.
I've read bits and pieces of Civil War. I was not entertained.
Yeah, Civil War, and I have to say a lot of my Marvel experience these days have come from tabletop role-playing games. From what I've read about Civil War, from those, it didn't work out very well. There are some really great and funny edits of it, though, bopping around online. Like, you need to check those out. Those are actually great.
Before we pass over to Lewis, I just want to say, I love the Phoenix comic edits. They are the best. Okay, Lewis, you may finally talk, mate. I'm sorry.
Before we completely forget to mention it, remind me, because it's been a while since I've really played, and I don't remember what these do. What are the Spider Emblems for? That you collect all over the place?
I believe, like, if you collect all of them, or at least, like, a certain percentage, that's a challenge, so, that's one thing. And I believe picking them up will give you Spider Essence, which will allow you to, buy more stuff and unlock more stuff, and, I believe the gold ones are health pickups. The silver ones might be as well, but not as much as gold.
I love his defensive stance in this game. I mean, it makes sense that Spider-Man would just use his agility to dodge everything, but it looks so goofy.
Yeah, like, all the Spider-Man can do that. I actually keep forgetting to do it, mostly because I'm always comboing away at the, just the masses of enemies the game will start to throw you later in the game, but for what it is, it's a pretty cool way of dodging stuff. Didn't listen to Uncle Ben, did we, Peter?
Well, no, he's getting teleported away perfectly fine.
What's going to happen if Madam Web just has to take, like, a bathroom break or something?
Well, I assume the chair handles that.
The real joke is after the game ends, Spider-Man's gotten so used to Madam Web teleporting his enemies away that he just goes on a mass murder spree without realizing it.
Oh, Jesus.
And then she just calls him up and says, Peter, I'm not helping you out anymore.
I expected better of you. Is Doc Ock taking you over again? Is that what's happening?
And thus began the Superior Spider-Man.
I suppose we'll save that for later, but I have generally favourable opinions about Superior Spider-Man.
I don't even know what Superior Spider-Man is, which just goes to show how out of the loop I am.
Well, good. We'll save it for a later part and thus have something to talk about. I actually have a little bit of level trivia here. This whole thing, like chasing down Kraven through jungle ruins, is basically an assault course, and apparently portions of the level, were taken, or at least, expanded upon, or based on, or whatever, from the Xbox exclusive level in the first Spider-Man movie game. I never really got to play that, and I was a bit jealous, but I did have the GameCube version, so I got to fight Vulture instead, which was pretty cool.
Vulture. Yeah, I forgot Vulture existed until Spider-Gwen happened.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing, too. Man, there's a lot of stuff I sure don't follow.
There's a thing called Web Warriors going on now, I believe, which, deals with the aftermath of Spider-Verse, and it's got, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, that one Indian Spider-Man, I think Spider-Ham is there as well.
And 2099.
Yes?
Yeah, he's in it, too.
Oh yeah. Don't forget Miguel. Everyone always forgets Miguel.
Well, I have to say, I'm very excited at the fact that Spider-Gwen exists, because I think it was Yusuke Hashimoto, or it might not have been Hashimoto, but one of the directors at Platinum Games distinctly mentioned that they would love to make a Spider-Gwen game at some point in the future.
I would honestly prefer a Shattered Dimensions 2 and have Spider-Gwen as one of the main characters instead of having a whole game around it, because just given the fact that that side of the franchise is so new, I don't think they'd have enough to fill out an entire game. Or I suppose they could do what Shattered Dimensions does, because a few of the bosses we'll be fighting were actually created specifically for Shattered Dimensions, and then I think some of them even turned up in the comics later on.
Well, I mean, that is a reasonably common thing with comic book characters and stuff, at least recently anyway, because I'm pretty sure that Harley Quinn originated in the Batman cartoon and then got into the comics, and then you've got, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters have entered into the comics since all of that's happened.
And now Harley Quinn is DC's freaking answer to Deadpool. So...
Not really sure how I feel about that, but we're not here to discuss DC. This is a Dorian commentary. This is an N-Tom commentary, featuring the amazing HFC crew, and also Lewis.
Glad to be an extra on your show.
Yeah, you're welcome, though. Oh, we got an arena kind of fight. Let's take them all down.
Man, I love how we have this super-powered spider mutant person, and these guys with frickin' machetes think they're gonna be the ones who take him down.
Well, get enough hacks on a guy, and it don't matter if he was bitten by a radioactive spider or not. He's gonna lose a limb,
Hey, if you get hit by a radioactive machete, do you get machete powers?
Shut up.
Because I could totally see these guys doing that. I become the cutlery. That's my superpower. That's my superhero name.
I am the fork. Getting dangerously close to a sport comment here, so I guess I'll shift tack and take a look at my nose. Oh, I know what we can talk about here. This is just going to go on for a while. I tried to note down particular arcs revolving around, the bosses we'll be facing, and the only one that seemed to pop out at me was Kraven's last hunt. So I guess I'll summarise this now. Kraven does his huntery thing and hunts down Spidey. He appears to shoot him dead, although this turns out to be a tranquilizer dart shot. He buries Spider-Man alive. He then puts on a Spider-Man costume and tries to one-up Spider-Man at his own game, taking down bad guys and so on. But he's a lot more vicious. This is actually kind of like a precursor to Superior Spider-Man, in a way, which is pretty cool. But I digress. There's a few other tidbits, but the conclusion of the story sees Spider-Man digging his way out of the grave, after 2 weeks, mind you, winning a fight against something called Vermin, which Kraven had previously set on Spidey before releasing it into the wild, and then Kraven announces that his hunting days are over, and he goes home. He then writes and leaves a note to the police admitting that he impersonated Spider-Man, and he also buried Peter alive, and he leaves photograph evidence and so on and so forth. And then he makes peace with himself and his past, and kills himself with a rifle. And that is the end of Kraven for at least 2 weeks.
For at least 2 weeks.
There you go, see? You can't put a good hunter down. Pretty
It's
much.
funny because it's true.
I always do love when, the news is talking about, oh, this character is dying, or, oh, this new amazing character is showing up in comics, and then it's promptly forgotten about, because mainstream comics are really bad that way, and very little shit sticks, you have to notice.
I'm kind of okay with this nowadays. I myself have come to terms with stuff like this. But I want them to treat death with respect. And I don't mean, like, not, resurrecting characters. I mean, I want the death to be poignant, at least. And then when they come back, oh, it's a huge shock and a game changer. But if you're just going to kill them off like swatting a fly and then they come back for, like, a tie-in kind of thing, what's the point, really?
Giving them a movie?
I guess.
Kind of reminds me of the big deal they were trying to make of Wolverine dying before it happened.
Yeah.
They're like, everyone's just like, okay, why should we be interested in this? You're just going to bring him back.
X-23 is Wolverine now, I believe. You okay with that, Lewis? Is it causing you physical pain?
Not really. Just trying to picture X-23 with the hair on the side of her face, the blue sideburns.
Okay, well, we'll slowly or steadily move on from that one, I guess. Here we go. This section, I believe, was kind of in the Xbox exclusive level in the first Spider-Man game. You're essentially looking down, like, the barrel or sights of Kraven's sniper rifle, and you just gotta try and, like, trick him into blasting down trees, and then you can run across them, and, you carry on going, and you eventually reach the end of the set piece, and then you move on to another one. That's how Shattered Dimensions works.
I mean, I have to say, this is always quite a cool type of set piece in whatever game it happens. I mean, obviously, the example I think I always tend to go to is Zigbar in Kingdom Hearts 2, although it's more frustrating there because, he's a dick.
Clever little sneak.
But this actually seems to work really well, or at least it looks really cool, so I'm down with it.
Like, if Kraven accidentally shoots one of his own guys, does Madame Web go, don't worry, Kraven, I teleported the bullet out of him. He's perfectly fine.
I fucking Neo'd that bitch.
Yeah, here's the question. If Madame Web can just teleport people around at will, why hasn't she just teleported Spider-Man to Kraven?
Well, much like just teleporting myself into midair and staying there, I don't really have an answer for you. We'll call it game physics and leave it at that.
I think your primary ability revolves mostly around knowledge. Like, she mentioned with the whole, the teleporting thing, she's like, oh, it was because of the tablet making dimensional rifts. I don't think she actually has a lot of direct influence. Like, it's all mental, distant shit.
Yeah. Also, possibly the people possessing other shards or pieces of the tablet can prevent that. Like, unknowingly, maybe.
Makes about as much sense as anything else in this game.
You've just got to roll with it when it comes to comics, really.
Pretty much, yes.
I have to say, though, even though I don't read a lot of comics, my favorite comics are actually, stuff like the kids series. For particular reasons, like Marvel Adventures, Batman Adventures, Superman Adventures, things like that. And I think that's because, it's not really burdened by the continuity. It's not trying to get, super sales every month, and it doesn't try to be edgy as fuck in order to get those sales. So I tend to like those a lot more, to be honest. And the Spider-Man, Marvel Adventure comics are actually really good. Like, if you're looking for just, some cool, fun stories to read and you don't mind it, not featuring that edgy shit, I'd actually recommend giving them a look.
That edgy shit, otherwise known as superhero comics, I guess.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
It's like Spider-Man Diablo camera, I just noticed.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like this section of the level, but whenever the camera shifts when you try to jump on a tree, and then shifts back, it's really disorienting.
Thrash one group of bad guys and thrash
And also seems really poorly done in general. Like, the transition is... It reaches a point where you're not even on screen, so it's just like, camera, seriously, what are you doing?
Oh, those ragdoll physics.
Particularly, the part that bothers me is that there's this point on every platform where the camera focuses on a tree while Kraven is shooting it out behind you, and the enemies are still going after you when that happens, even though you can't see yourself or them. That kind of shit bugs me. Bugs me a lot.
Oh, I get so mad.
Okay, well, we're about to fight the boss, as the obvious arena in front of us hints. Like, you know, you walk into a room like this, it's just screaming boss fights about to happen in your ear.
Let me guess.
Yeah, every time you... Well, I think every time, but usually when you're about to go into a boss thing, the camera will, like, pan closer to Spider-Man, and he'll get all hunched up and like, I'm ready to fire. Kind of like what happens with Samus sometimes in Metroid Other M.
I'm not sure why they do the weird first-person perspective with some of these cutscenes. It doesn't look right, in my opinion. I don't know.
Build tension, I guess. Speaking of building tension, this is your stereotypical kind of Hulk or Hulking kind of bad guy. You know, you just gotta punch him a few times, and you gotta touch him real quick and go. You gotta touch him real quick and go.
Yeah, not very fun.
This does nothing to them, but I don't care because it's fun.
I found the happy spot. What do you have to be in order, like, what do you have to eat in order to become a big hulking guy like this in video games? You know, with the ability to shrug off 40 consecutive hits because of super armor? Like, he must have one hell of a diet.
Smaller mooks. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop him from being QTE'd to death.
That's true.
Or prompted to death, I should say. Nothing quick time about that.
Oh, god damn it.
You know, I have to say, I like what they did with Kraven's character design in this, because, like, having a look at, like, Kraven in previous comics, he looks ridiculous.
Yeah, bright yellow and all that.
Yeah, bright yellow leopard print, and it's just like, yeah, I can't take you seriously as a villain. This version of Kraven, while the fur is still rather ridiculous, he actually seems at least a bit threatening.
Mm-hmm. It's like they mute the colours a bit, and he seems a little bit more dangerous like that.
Yes, exactly.
Even though, you know, in the animal kingdom, yellow is a dangerous colour that you tend to want to avoid.
Pretty much.
As you know, when some bulls see yellow, they erupt into a blinding rage.
Yeah, seriously. They actually shoot lasers out of their eyes, but apparently no one's been able to catch us on camera yet.
Well, no, that's goats. The medieval people got the goats with the lasers, although it's coming out of their noses specifically.
Wait, hang on. Is that an actual thing?
So, in a kind of old medieval book,
How do you have
somebody
this prepared?
drew a goat shooting out lasers from its nose. It's hilarious.
I'm amazed. Like, whatever. I don't even have the words to describe how prepared you were to bust out with that kind of trivia.
It's because it's a very fond memory I have at university where we were looking through all these medieval manuscripts, and there's just this laser goat. It's hilarious.
Oh, Jesus. It's time to play Rock'em Sock'em Spidey.
I'm sorry, what the fuck am I looking at? It's some awkward punch-out shit. Man, I think we got this on an iOS game one time.
Yeah, it's basically first-person Punch-Out as a mid-boss minigame. I don't like it. But, I suppose I've seen worse gameplay mechanics.
I think if it was a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid, and maybe a little bit punchier, well, you know, going beyond the obvious of punching the bad guy in the face, it would be a little bit more interesting, but it just usually, like, kind of closes out the boss fight, or interrupts it, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, and the camera spazzes out whenever you do anything. Although I do like how Kraven gets steadily more bruised up as you go.
Briefly goes into the wall, as you know, a common animal power of the animal kingdom.
That's how you know he's getting weaker, when he becomes a little bit more intangible.
What is he craving exactly? I could go for some jelly beans.
The whole part has been leading up to that. Good stuff. 9 out of 10, IGN. That's a fucking Spider-Man take, bro. You should be proud of yourself.
That makes me the original Spider-Man then, doesn't it? Because you know I'm making quips all day.
I was gonna assign you as, like, Noir, but, okay, you can be Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank you.
So I'm assuming by virtue of the fact that I'm the youngest, I'm ultimate? Or am I noir because I'm the one who has all the old-timey knowledge?
Well, I suppose we'll decide when we actually get into their levels proper. You see, much like that one episode of Power Rangers where they get, like, turned into young kids and have to go on fucking spirit quests to get crystals, we'll find ourselves eventually through these commentaries.
That arc was so stupid. I hated that thing, because I was like, when the fuck are they going to become normal again? This is boring.
I love that arc, and you have no soul.
Yeah, probably.
Also, can I just point out, so you know how Dragon did the wonderful "What's Kraven craving"
Yes.
joke?
Yeah.
Well, Kraven could be craving crave, which is a cereal. And it's literally spelled Krave.
Okay. The joke has officially been run into the ground. Go on, Lewis, what were you going to say?
I was just about to say that it looks like Kraven's gonna have to settle for a knuckle sandwich today.
Oh, equally as good.
But yeah, it's not done yet. I'm kind of surprised. I thought the level ended there.
No, we've still got a good 10, 13 minutes left.
We have to do another punch-out sequence. Come on, we gotta use that at least more than once.
Well, what tends to happen in the levels, and these are hidden spiders, which give you quite a bit of spider essence, you know, helps you buy stuff more easily. There's a few in each level, set number. I'm not going to be fighting them, this is going to be a straight run through. But the typical level progression is you fight the boss once, at least once, without the tablet power, like, in use, and then you go through some set pieces, and then you fight them properly.
Don't do something you're gonna regret.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I would have preferred it if they had more levels that were shorter. But, these 40-minute levels can... Oh, they're nice. They're good. They don't exactly... They don't really overstay their welcome, but at the same time...
Well, I mean, I would say that at this point it has started... The level started to kind of drag a bit. It's like we had a nice arc up to the boss fight, and it's at that point it was just like, okay, just finish it now, please.
I don't really get why you need to activate this platform in order to, like, reach the top, unless, like, the roof is closed or something. Because, I don't know how to tell you this, Beanox, but Spider-Man has a particular power that allows him to climb up walls and also ceilings. He calls them sticker powers.
Yeah, I'll get ready to say that.
And also, I mean, in most other video games, he can kind of latch onto the sky with his stick and powers with the webs, so, I mean, it's hardly a problem for him to get a roof that high up.
Man, you have no idea how revolutionary Spider-Man 2, the movie game, was. That was insane, where all the webs would stick onto buildings properly and whatnot.
Well, they looked like they did anyway. Usually the only real stipulation was that you had to be in a place where you could reasonably attach to a building
I don't
before
know.
you could...
I could look up and usually see my web attached to a building or whatever.
Yeah, it was just in the Amazing Spider-Man game, you don't necessarily attach your web to a building. There are certain elevations where your web will work and where they won't, depending on where the buildings around you are, but they might not necessarily physically attach to them.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of that one issue of, I think it's the Scarlet Spider, not Ben Reilly, Kane, where he goes to another city, I honestly forget the name, and it's one with like really, well, I want to say like really short buildings, or small buildings, just much smaller than in like New York, and he ends up just like eating shit and face planting into the top of a roof.
Scarlet Spider Kane is really hilarious, actually. It's like, he's an edgy motherfucker, but they won't put him in an edgy motherfucker kind of world. It's actually really great.
Yeah,
like, I think there was that time where it's like, great, we're gonna die of radiation before we die of something else.
Victory!
Thank you.
All we gotta do here is just carry on throughout the level, hitting these switches, and eventually the platform will rise up and allow us to take down Kraven. If you're fast enough, you can usually take these switches without getting clobbered in the back of the head. Unfortunately, after about 10 or so retakes, I think my reflexes were about as shot as they could be, so here we are.
I mean, I have to say, it does seem rather ridiculous. Like, we've had a reasonable amount of enemies so far, and then suddenly this particular platform, they're just like, yeah, let's just shove all the machine guys, all the blooming Hulk guys, just shove everyone on this platform.
That's the last time you're going to be seeing these mooks.
Oh, so you'll be seeing them again. They'll just have a different coat of paint.
Yeah.
That one's blue. That means he's stronger and has more HP.
That's kind of the problem with a lot of action games in this generation. Particularly, Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands is also a huge offender. You just have the same 3 varieties of mook throughout the game, and maybe they'll add one more every 4 hours or so.
I keep meaning to play that, and I have the Wii version still in its wrapping from all those years ago, but I've just never got round to it.
Well, I don't think that complaint necessarily applies to the Wii version, but the Wii version is a completely different game with a completely different story.
Yeah, so
Also one of the better looking games on the Wii, which is... I'm not sure if that's a statement about the game or a statement about the Wii's library being shit.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that the Wii's library is shit. I mean, there are quite a few absolutely stellar titles on the system. Whether they all look amazing is a different matter.
The overall library, as in just ratio, it's terrible.
man, these machete guys are ready to cut a spider. I have to give them, like, an A grade, an S rank for their determination.
D for execution, though.
Well, no, they're not executing anybody. That would be an F.
Yeah, Madam Wed would disapprove.
Well, in my school, we didn't have an F because I guess they didn't want to make kids feel bad when they failed.
Like, oh,
So it was just...
they'll eventually look it up in the dictionary and see the word failure. They'll associate the letter F with failure. We can't have that.
it was like the lowest grade in my grade school was E. There was no F.
There was win and not win. There is no in between.
Pretty much.
That seems kind of hilarious because in the UK schooling system, the lowest grade you can get is a U.
Really?
Yeah, we get that far down in the alphabet.
You go from like A star down, but U is like completely failed, like 0. There's also a G, but yeah.
We only ever use letters like U, S, and G when we're using a completely different non-serious grading system that just has satisfactory as the goal.
Yeah. Now, I swear I activated this. But no, apparently the game didn't want to register it.
Well, no, the game clearly wanted you to beat more of these guys up.
Ah, man, this level could have been over so much quicker if we could have just avoided these fights.
Yeah, especially these guys who will just force you to counter from time to time, so you can't just wail on them. Although I think you can break them out of that with an air launcher. I'm not sure if I had it unlocked at the time.
Do you think there are any jungle temples that haven't been discovered by supervillains yet? Because I'm pretty sure they're running out by now. You know, like maybe you're a new supervillain, you go in there, oh hey, I found a jungle temple, oh no, it belongs to fucking Tiger Mask the whoever. Oh wait, I guess I can't use it then.
Destructor.
Just mark it on your map, wait a few months until, the superhero of the week beats that particular villain and sends him to jail, then you can move on in and take over.
That's what we call squatting, kids. It's a very evil thing to do, so it's appropriate. Don't try and web strike or zip an enemy if they have, like, white glowing above their head. Use A to go around them.
I remember that. At first it seems pretty fun and strategic. As you go through the game, it never really changes up. Like, it may happen more frequently, kind of like how in Batman Arkham Asylum you just ran into more knife guys with each successive fight after a point.
Knife guys. Second only to the fucking shield guys, I think, in Arkham City.
Fucking stun batons too, don't forget those guys.
Yeah, that one section near the end of the game where you have all those enemy types in like a single place and you're trying to save hostages.
It's so easy to go after one and then wind up targeting the other and not realizing it until you've done the wrong thing. This guy.
Just go down already!
About time.
I think Neil Patrick Harris is saying what we were all thinking there. About bloody time.
Self-awareness does not make it okay, game designers.
Oh, I need a first-person view for this. You never been on an elevator before? It's fucking nuts. I want you to experience this with me.
Okay, the ceiling being closed. Confirmed, I guess. Alright, come on out, Kraven. Time for a beatdown. Okay, there you are.
Oh, hello.
So, are you a shadow? Are you the true self?
Oh, Lewis, this is why we brought you into the commentary. The single Persona reference.
Also, I might have accidentally set my temple on fire. I hope you don't mind, because I have no idea how to put it out.
I am not David Cage. The Russian accent was a ruse. It's essentially the same fight from before, but there's pillars everywhere. You can exploit this, you know, to your advantage to get him to, you know, crash into them. That's a challenge, I believe, to make him destroy a set number of pillars. Other than that, he's really fast, so just work on countering, and you should be sound as a pan.
So, is this like the detective mode that you're in right now?
Uh-huh. Spider sense.
Is it necessary to use this?
Well, my answer to that is yes, I guess, if you want to keep a bead on Kraven. Otherwise, he's just going to be bopping about everywhere.
Spider Sense is also the lock-on button.
No, I don't think they're, like, exclusive to each other.
So wait, is Spider Sense sort of your slow-mo function?
No, the only character with a slow-mo function is Miguel.
Right. So, then what...
This was explained in the tutorial in the last part!
Well, none of us were paying any attention.
Oh, god damn it, you're right! Oh, what do you think of this boss fight Hell Dragon guy who has not played the game?
Well, gosh, he sure has a fuzzy neck, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. You should really shave that.
Thanks, Hell Dragon. What about you, Richard?
It looks interesting.
What about you, Lewis, guy who has actually played the game? How did you fare against Kraven on your initial run?
I seem to remember losing at least once, but I also started playing the game at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so that's probably why.
You always seem to have, like, late-night gaming sessions. That's something I can never really do.
Well, yeah, because during the day when I'm playing a game, it's usually because I need to record something.
I know that feel all too well. So does Richie. Hell Dragon, he's not in this exclusive club.
You are no match for me now, Spider.
Not much longer now. A few more heavy attacks with the Y button and he's good to go. Oh yeah, should probably mention, we're playing the 360 version of the game.
Which is actually the one that I think got the most praise overall. It's certainly the highest rated of the versions.
There's also one on the Wii. I think there's like a DS version of the game which got like a different kind of plot, and there's like exclusive like villains and such, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that did pretty piss poorly in reviews. Although that said, the PC port of this version did far worse. Like a full 10% lower.
Wasn't Web of Shadows on DS like a Metroidvania kind of game?
I believe so, yeah.
Was that good? Because I'm always looking for Metroidvanias, because I'm not going to get it from the official source.
I've heard mixed things, but why didn't you take a gamble?
Maybe. Because I don't want to spend money, that's why.
I'm trying to dance around actually discussing these games in depth, because Lord knows we will need topics come later levels.
Kraven's almost done. Almost done. Just die already, Kraven!
Other hobbies. Just think about it. Kraven,
It's a real shame that like the in-game dialogue is not subtitled, because there's some really, really funny stuff here and there, and most of it gets drowned out by like either sound effects or obnoxious Let's Players.
Well, that's a problem that's present in every version of the game now with on YouTube available.
And this is how you end the fight. Jump up near him, boom, he's done.
Excellent, Spider-Man. You've done it.
First-person web-swinging dropkick.
again, it'll be too
Nice.
Immersion!
Hunt resumes.
I feel you, Pia. There's still a lot more parts of the tablet to go, I guess.
Man, when Spider-Man groans at your joke, you know you fucked up.
Yep. He's a bad influence on Man and Web is the thing. And of course we get graded. I don't really care about my combo rating. Did you see how many guys there were? Oh lordy, that was a long one. We'll see you guys next time for the first noir level. Bye for now.